Welcome in, everybody. We're back for season 2 of Big Orange Breakdown. I said Big Orange Breakdown. I didn't say Big Orange Banner. Aren't you proud of me, J-Mo?
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Jordan Moore's with us, as always. We're about to get rolling here. We're going to break down some offensive plays versus Syracuse, and then we'll get to we got like 3 or 4 defensive plays we want to look over. Don't want to go too in depth tonight. Just going to get it rolling. Anything you want to say to the folks out there before we bring up the tape?
It's just fun to be back for another season. It's fun breaking down film after a win. So it's going to be great having another year to do this. It's fun doing it with you. It's only going to get more intense as the games get on once we get into Georgia and into SEC play. It's going to be fun breaking this down because there are some things that we had talked about at the end of last season about needing some new formations and new wrinkles, and we saw a little bit of that Saturday against Syracuse. So it's going to be fun talking about it and breaking it down.
Yeah. Overall, just wanted – how good do you think Syracuse is? And I need to add to that question. Their schedule's brutal.
Yeah.
Like, I think they might be pretty good, and I'm not sure they can get the 5 wins.
I think I saw something before we played them where I think, if I remember correctly, they were projected to win like two or 3 games or something crazy like that. I mean, I think they're better than when I was reading the preview on them. I think they're better than what I had in my mind. And I think they'll probably win, to what you said, 4 or 5, right there on the fringe of being bowl eligible, depending on what the ACC does this year. But, I mean, the quarterback was better than I thought, to be honest. More accurate, calm, cool in the pocket, made some plays. Their receivers were pretty good. So they were better than I anticipated going into the game, especially on the offensive end, with considering everything they lost off that team last year.
Yeah, quarterback was tough.
Yeah.
He made some nice throws when they were there. We'll look at them. Yeah, I think they got some pretty good talent team, and it's a pretty rough stretch. Like, I can't remember top of my head, but I mean they got Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Clemson, Miami. Basically, everybody that's got a pulse in the ACC, they drew.
It's tough.
And like the ones that are close, that you're like, oh, I think like they're on the road in those. So yeah, it's
because they got Miami at home last year, right? That's when they knocked them off. So now they have to go on the road to Miami.
Yeah, and they're at Bobby Dodd in Atlanta. I mean, it's go look it up. I think they're gonna be okay, but I think they're gonna be an okay team and still probably won't get bowl eligible. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, so I've rambled on enough. Why don't we bring the video up and we can get our mugs off of there. And yeah. So we're going to start out. We want to look at the first play of the ball game. This is a formation and something we haven't seen a whole lot of. Not that we haven't been in the X and the X and the B to the field, but how close they are to the formation, whether it's the Z, the X, or the B, any of that is not something we've seen a whole lot.
In
4 years.
Yeah, that was the very first thing. I mean, as we said in the open, one of the things that I wanted to see this season was the evolution of this offense, adding some more wrinkles, some new formations, just new stuff into it to keep, defense on their heels. And that's one of the things that I was looking for going into this game. And right off the rip, Heupel does it. I mean, you have your wide receivers at normal splits. They're not, basically standing on the sideline. Last year, one of the biggest things that you and I discussed was just there wasn't a lot of pre-snap motion with this offense, and you get that here in the first play. And then the other thing that we discussed last year with the offense was you didn't see a lot of, short intermediate stuff over the middle of the field to give the quarterback something quick and easy. And with this very first play, the reason we're bringing it up is you get all three of those on this very first play, and it's encouraging to see that they have, added some stuff to this offense. And I'm excited to see what more they've put in as the season goes on, because I do think there's more to what they've done.
Yeah. So we're gonna roll it. I'm not positive that he's actually RPOing this, that he's reading the linebackers to see if he's gonna let Bishop keep the ball, or if he's pulling it and throwing the slant to Matthews. I think he is reading, and if he is, he's read it correctly, because the linebackers do crash pretty hard on the run. And the big thing we're looking at here is first play of the season. You haven't. All three receivers are inside the numbers. Generally, we got four guys outside the numbers, three at minimum. So we're going to roll it. Now, looking at this behind, which we're about to do, we're going to get the quarterback's view. I'm going to slow the speed down a little bit. He's checking out the two linebackers. First one's going to crash hard. Second one's crashing pretty hard too. Yep. That's really good quarterback play.
The second one, his eyes are on that pulling guard coming around.
Yeah.
And again, the pre-snap motion is telling Aguilar that Syracuse is in man. And we talked about last year about like helping a young quarterback out with Nico, where there wasn't a lot of pre-snap motion to help figure out what the defense was in. So right there again, you're seeing the pre-snap motion to help show what the defense may be in. They show that they were in man. And Joey, with his experience, 24 years old, and the amount of games that he's played, you'd expect that he understands that and sees that, which he did, and he throws it right over the linebacker's head. It's a great, accurate throw.
This is our second play we're going to look at. This is the deep shot that's going to draw pass interference. First off, when we get the second view from behind the quarterback, we're going to see that we had an offensive lineman that was in a pass protection where he's pulling like he's run blocking, but he's actually pulling around to pick up the outside rusher if one shows. And it is probably a touchdown if he does his job correctly, because the ball could have been thrown for a touchdown. I think Joey could have got his full arm into it, really took a big stride and really put it out there. Probably landed it a yard into the end zone, which would have had Brazil running under it. The other thing is, I think Matthews made a mistake on the play, because I don't think this is cover 4 they're in. The two middle safeties, as you see, they're both responsible for the middle of the field, which technically when receivers go deep, two outside receivers go deep, it turns into man-to-man when you're covering cover 4. I don't think both guys were supposed to be running posts. I just don't think that's what you would be doing. I think one of the guys did it wrong. I'm guessing Matthew should have just been running a streak, and Brazil was running the post from the short side. Can't swear to that, but we're going to see that they both end up in the same place. I think Matthews could have actually still caught the football.
Yeah, I do too.
But I don't think he ever saw it.
Yeah, I don't think he ever saw it. And, because it landed right outside of arm's reach, and he kind of pulled up towards the end of it too. The other thing we're going to see when we see the behind the quarterback view is he also had Staley open on this. So really all three receivers, you pretty much could have threw it to either of the three, and one of them could have made a play on the ball. But it's encouraging that you see that, the first deep shot of the year, we're not overthrowing that thing by 5 or 8 yards. We're actually allowing our receiver to go make a play on it. And to me, you and I talked about this after the game, but I think we really took 3 deep shots the whole game This is the first one. You slightly underthrow it, really, because you couldn't fully step into it. Because as we'll see here, the pressure got into his feet, and he really couldn't put everything he had into it. But you allowed you didn't overthrow it. You allowed your receiver to come back and make a play on it, which draws the PI. You kind of missed some of that the last couple of years. Hooker was pretty good at putting air into the ball and kind of allowing your receiver to run under. Too, you made that a really good point. And I would rather you kind of underthrow this to give our receiver a chance to draw a PI than you overthrow this, because you're giving a chance for nothing to happen on the play. And we took 3 deep shots. This is one of them. We're going to show another one later. But to me, all 3 of them, Aguilar played it well. Like here, underthrows it slightly because he couldn't step into it, draws the PI. The 70-yard touchdown to Staley, he lays it in the breadbasket. And then the third one to Matthews down the sideline, he lays that right in the breadbasket too, but the DB just makes a really good play of getting his hands in between Matthews' hands and knocking the ball free.
Yeah, there's 3 things that can happen when you throw a deep ball. One is you overthrow the guy. The other one is you underthrow the guy, and the other is you hitting him in stride. Hitting him in stride is great. Underthrowing him, the advantage in that goes heavily to the receiver because he's bigger generally. He can go up and high point the ball and make the catch, or he can get the PI. Is usually what happens on the underthrown deep ball. It's uncanny how much it happens. The only one of those is the absolute no. I've been saying it forever, and 1,000 other people that know the game say it too. The overthrow is the one that is the bad, can't do it on a deep ball. Because there's nothing you can do humanly possible on a deep ball if it's overthrown.
To your point, when we had Hooker, let's say we threw 10 deep balls. I mean, if he can complete 40 of them and give me 2 PIs on the other, that's 6 out of 10 that you're getting some kind of positive yardage out of it. Aguilar at App State on his deep balls of 20-plus yards was right at 39.5%. So if he can hit 4 out of 10 and give me 2 PIs on 2 more, that's going to help this offense gain some extra yardage, whereas the last 2 quarterbacks you had were hitting about 29 to 30% of those deep balls, and were overthrowing them, so you weren't even drawing the PIs. So, number one, you weren't as accurate on the deep ball, and 2, you weren't even getting any kind of hidden yardage and penalties as far as PIs go.
Yeah, no doubt. What we're going to see here, the big thing about this play is we're going to see, I think it's more that's going to be the puller, and he stops short of getting out here to the edge, which is where he needs to get to, and he's able to set the block up. So we'll let it roll. And you're right, Staley does come open, but if you look, by the time Staley's open, the defender's in his face. So right there, Moy ends up helping the tight end when the tight end had his job done. Moy should have been out here.
Yeah.
He should have been out here on the trademark for Aflac, setting right between him and that defender, and Joey's able to step into this throw and really get it all the way out there.
Yep. Yeah.
So Mike was running a 9. Mike was running a 9. He just broke in when he saw the ball in the air. He actually broke off his route and just went to it. He wasn't actually running a post. Okay. I had not even looked at that. So Mike wasn't running the wrong route. He just went over there to the area.
Yeah, Moy's got to get all the way to the outside to make that block.
1,000%.
And Staley, again, he came open there too. But I'm not, Brooks Austin said this the other night on his fan breakdown. I'm not going to, get anything on our quarterback for taking a deep shot there and trying to get your guy to go make a play. Again, if Moy kind of gets over there and makes his block and it's a clean pocket for Aguilar, we're probably making a play on that. And it's one of the first explosive play of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil might still get the PI, but more than likely the ball's out in front of him and he's running under it. Yeah. Next play we're going to look at, this is my favorite offensive play of the ball game. It doesn't show it, but it's 3rd and 10. We've thrown about 3 screen passes to a running back in 4 years. It's just not a part of the offense. for whatever reason. The most productive one was year one at Florida. The Evans kid who left, he took it to the house for the first score of that ball game.
Yep.
So yeah, this to me on 3rd and 10 is absolutely beautiful. What you're trying, we know we have man.
Yep.
And we know this guy right here that I'm hovering over has the running back. And most of the time, you're going to get a slant out of Brazil from the boundary or a comeback, and you're going to have the running back swing. He's either going to flatten out or he's going to round out a swing pattern. One or the other is what your running back's going to do on 3rd and 10 and what we've traditionally done. Sometimes he'll block for a second, then release. But Josh added something. Joey Halsey added something.
Yeah,
this is absolute poetry.
It's beautifully drawn up. I mean, again, and we got the bunch at the bottom, which we haven't seen a lot of bunch with 3 receivers like that. We see a lot of 2 stacks, but not a lot of 3 bunch. And they're also at, again, respectable splits too. They're not, outside the numbers or right at the numbers. So that's another wrinkle that's been added into this offense. And, to your point, it's man. We see that man. That linebacker there who's got Bishop, he knows he has that guy, and if he sees Bishop come out of the backfield, normally it's just going to be a wheel right up the sideline. So he's trying to bucket to get out there to protect for the wheel route. And it's just beautiful execution, beautiful call at the right time. And the offensive line getting off, their blocks and then getting upfield and finding the next nearest man to block is also, and Kitselman gets a good block on this. So just perfectly executed at the right time, perfectly called at the right time. And it's also just, again, early in the first quarter, another wrinkle that Heupel and Halsey's thrown into this offense.
Yeah, right there, number 8, I think, is who's got Bishop's responsibility. He knows right then because it looked nothing. It looked just like it was. He was either going to the flat or, like you said, running the wheel. And as soon as Bishop put the brakes on, he knew he had been got. And the offensive line looked perfectly like they were in true pass protection until the very last second. Yep. And then these 3 guys are going to leap perfectly in front.
And a great job of Aguilar getting depth to allow himself some room to make that pass.
Something you just said that's so huge about that play, and you're going to see it from behind. Watch Aguilar's head from behind for about the first 1,000, 1,000 to this. His eyes are at the bunch. Look at that. Look how pretty that is, because that has everybody thinking he's reading and going through his progressions, and he knows exactly what he's doing the entire time.
That's a 24-year-old experienced quarterback. Because if his eyes immediately go to Bishop, the defenders and everybody's reading that, it's a tail sign, and they're getting out there to Bishop. But for him to, like you said, for 1-2 seconds just to look over there like he's reading that and completely getting his head back around, and also just the calmness and the patience. He didn't rush anything either. That's just experience that we didn't see last year at the quarterback position. It's small things like that you saw in this game that makes you feel comfortable for the rest of the year with him at quarterback. There's intangibles at the quarterback position that you can't teach, and he has the small intangibles that a quarterback needs to be able to play this position at a good level. And in this offense, the way this offense is designed and the way Heupel has it designed, he can play it at a high level because it gives the quarterback a lot of easy throws. And to your point on what you've been saying all summer long, and I give you credit, which is, I was worried about the interceptions all year because of the upstate. And your point was, look at Heupel's offense, look at his quarterbacks. His system is designed to not have the quarterback put the ball in trouble, to make easy throws. You're not going to see him throwing the ball and 2 to 3 defenders in the same area, because it's not designed that way. And like you saw that Saturday. I didn't feel like there was any point in the game, and I could be wrong, but I didn't feel like there was any point in the game where I thought, oh no, what was he doing there? Why did he throw it there?
No, there's the second down play before the touchdown pass to Star Thomas. It was his only not great read, but all in all, it was a pretty flawless quarterback from your quarterback mentally on, what was it, how many dropbacks in the past 20 something?
Yeah, 28, I think, maybe.
28. Yeah. I think he dropped back 30 and ran on 2 of those. But yeah, that was a quarterback who is comfortable in knowing how to play the position, not being an athlete, being a field general, knowing what he's doing. My eyes are going over here to tell you I'm reading a defense, I'm going through progressions, and I'm just dumping the ball after you guys get where I want you to be on defense. This play I put in because you sent it to me, the stat. Joey was 5 of his first 13. Probably 4 of those could have been caught. Of the incompletions could have been caught. But they weren't thrown as well as you want your quarterback to throw them. That's the easiest way I can say it. They weren't thrown perfectly. Several of them were selling high. And I wanted to point out why I think when I looked at his form on why he's selling the ball high. So I don't know how well you can see me or how well it's showing up, but when you're throwing curls, stops, hitches, bubbles, you want that ball to be on the receiver's chest. So he's not having to go low for the ball, so he's not going high, so he can catch it comfortably and get down or catch it and get upfield, whatever the case may be. So every one of them was high. And what I noticed from Joey is on this play, he's here and his left leg dips, which makes the ball come out up here, up higher than you want to. You want to be on platform and be level with your shoulders. And when that leg dips, your left shoulder dips. And when that happens, the ball comes out and comes up high. That's, I think, what was going on. You're going to see him later. We're going to show Mike Matthews on the bubble after the long Deshaun Bishop run. Bubble to the wide side, a very hard throw, but his platform is perfect. His feet are under him. He's balanced. He's not dipping to the one side. Let's watch. That wasn't the play. This was the Mike Matthews incompletion. Similar play. The one I'm looking for is the one that was the bubble to. Hey, Drew, welcome in, buddy. The bubble screen to Ethan Davis. Sorry about that. It's this one. See how he leans to his front leg. He gets out over top of it, which it brings his body away from it and makes the hand go your throwing hand go high and it sails on him. We'll be able to see it a little better from right here. You want your front leg to be on balance, and see how wide it got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That causes that ball to sail, and it causes your throwing hand to, instead of being ear height, it's the top of your head height when you release it, which makes the ball sail. I think all that was early game jitters. He clearly got everything cleaned up. We're going to jump ahead.
After the first quarter, he was 11 for 15 the rest of the game.
Yep.
And in the third quarter, a little bit of the fourth quarter, they asked him to make some of those same throws, and he was putting him in good spots for the receivers to catch him and kind of make plays afterwards. So, his completion percentage at App State wasn't great. It was right around, I think the first year was like 60%, and his second year was like 55%. So it wasn't great. So how much were the inaccurate throws in the first quarter? How much of that is just you're going to deal with that some with him, or how much was that him just amped up, juiced up, with it being his first quarter, of his first start? He's kind of just inaccurate a little bit, but he did clean it up as the game went on.
No doubt. Yeah, you're gonna see it on the Mike Matthews play in a minute how good his platform was, how good his base was. Before we go any further, I want to say welcome in Ball Drew. He's going to be joining us sometimes this year, guys. Thanks for jumping on with us, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Anytime, man. Anything you got, don't hesitate to throw a hand up, request, or jump in anytime. We're gonna look at the next play. I believe this is where, Jordan, this was one of our favorite plays of the ball game that wasn't a successful play, but we love the play design. We love the execution of the quarterback. We're going to shift from a tight bunch formation, and we're going to stack Brazil behind Staley. And we're going to make it look like we're going to stack Staley behind Brazil, making it look like we're about to throw him the bubble. And Staley's going to look like he's doing the bubble. Brazil's going to go to the defender like he's blocking him like we're throwing a bubble. And actually, we're actually slipping Brazil. He's faking the block and then going to slip by. And it's either a touchdown pass if he catches it, or it's a catch and he's probably getting tackled by the safety. But a good athlete likely makes that safety miss. Let's take a look. You're going to see a shift here as Joey's checking, which I think the checking, we probably already knew what we were doing here. But when we got to the line of scrimmage, I think we already knew we were checking to this play. Maybe it was maybe Heupel called it once we were already lined up, but I'm guessing it was already set. Brazil's going to shift out. Staley's going to go stack behind him. Brazil is blocking. Staley's giving you bubble action. Exactly what you want this to look like. You're faking the handoff, which we do a ton. We're going to throw this to Staley a bunch this year out of this same play. And Brazil's going to block for him, or Matthews is going to block for him, or Kitzelman's going to block for him, or Davis. And Brazil is selling this perfectly. And then he's wide open. And if the ball – now what I would like to have seen here, and I talked to you about this earlier, Jordan, is Brazil's going to break this route hard across the field like he's going across that Affleck, like he's running the same angle as that slant in the A. I would like to see him carry it more almost even with the hash, because there's no way this safety is going to tackle him if he's closer to the hash. If he's here, which is where he probably would have caught the ball, it's going to be a 12-yard gain, but he's going to get tackled. Don't you agree, Jay?
Yeah. I mean, you and I discussed this kind of earlier. I mean, I kind of put it up on Twitter and said that this could potentially have been a score. I mean, he would have had to made a good move as soon as he caught it to make sure he didn't get tripped up by the safety. But I agree with you. Maybe kind of cut it off a little bit and get up the seam. But I think he was just kind of running what was designed there. To me, you're going to hear me repeat this a lot on here, but what I loved about it was just, again, the look when you initially line up, the bunch look, top to the line, and then you motion into what we did, and that's just an evolution of the offense, because you didn't see – normally any kind of pre-snap motion you saw with this offense would be the tight end lined out wide, and he's motioning in, pre-snap to come in as a lead blocker or something like that. You're not seeing, pre-snap motion as far as kind of getting a look of what the defense is in. It was just more of, kind of getting the tight end ahead of steam to come in and block up the line, or throw a quick screen out to him that we've seen a couple of times while he's on the run. You've not really seen it as a design to read a defense or – anything like that. So it's just another evolution and wrinkle to the offense. But to your point too, we're going to throw that bubble screen a ton this year. So this is giving the defense something to kind of look at and prepare for. Because, even if he gets the ball out there to Staley pretty quick, I mean, Staley has a chance to kind of make a move on that guy and gain some yardage too with the space that he had. And
the defenders aren't going to haul rear end to Staley.
Yep.
The more we do this,
they're going to understand this is on tape now and kind of maybe in the back of their head hesitate for a second. But Brazil's got to catch this. I mean, it hits in between the numbers. It's a dot.
Yeah, we're gonna see it from behind and
you guys, this is something I've been waiting for 4 years. I don't believe, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, looking at this, that we've faked a screen and taken a shot down the field off of it that I can remember.
Nope.
totally agree with you. The route, it feels like especially with where the safety is on the opposite hash, he runs like a more of a slant or a post in towards the safety. Whereas if he runs a fly, there's
Or
green
even
grass, so much green grass.
Or even just if he runs a seam and just bends it slightly towards the post, but not running a true post.
Agreed.
And I think
you're
that's
right too about the. I love that we showed bunch, and I don't even. Is it a shift out of this? I know Brazil shifts out, and then the tight end moves as well.
And Staley goes too.
The one thing, and I know you guys have probably touched on it earlier, is this and the running back play. I hope it's not one of those things where you show it on film and then you don't run it again, because I just think this, like you said, as often as you run wide receiver screen, you could do this once a game, once every other game with and it'd still be a total shock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, right there, you're right. This safety's going to get to Brazil more than likely because he's having to wait on the ball. If he's catching this ball up here because he bent it more north and less east, less west, I guess that would be west. Yeah, less west. That defender's not even in the play anymore. That guy's having to chase Brazil from behind. But most importantly, 1-7, that ball tattooed your chest. You got to catch it. And you know what? Brazil played really good in the second half.
It feels like he kind of peaked and took his eye off at the last second, knowing the safety was coming. But you got to haul that one in. The only time that I can remember, because I've only seen it a couple of times on highlights, that I can remember us faking a screen like that is I'm pretty sure in 2022 we did it against UT Martin towards the end of the game and scored off of it, where we would have the tight end on one side of the formation, motion him to the other side, and we would throw a little screen to him out in the flat with the receivers blocking. We did the exact same thing. We pump faked the throw to the tight end, and one of the receivers blocking slipped the block and was wide open in the end zone. That's the only time that I can think that we've actually done something similar to that.
Yeah,
and correct me if I'm wrong, the one little subtlety I think you could even add to this is I don't see like he's ready to rip the ball when Brazil makes his move on the route. I would love to see the pump fake, because I think you would get that safety in both those defenders, or any defenders involved in a formation who would run something like this. I think showing the ball is something that's almost lost in this day and age. You don't see many actual legit pump fakes. It's almost like just a little bit of a shoulder. I think safeties really are eyeing that ball.
Yeah, your guys just dip a little bit.
That's about it. Yeah.
Nobody really pops it anymore. Yeah. No, I'm with you. There's more they can do off of that too. Mike Matthews is on the backside one-on-one. Anytime we show that again, nobody's gonna pay attention. He's gonna have a go shot out of it to Matthews on the backside. It'll be there. All right, so we're gonna jump ahead a little further here. This is J-Mo. You wanted to show these two plays in succession.
Yeah.
This is going to be where we're basically playing with the two H-backs in front of the quarterback and the tailback, and we're going to run into the line of scrimmage, and then the next play we know what we're going to do. We're going to show the exact same look.
Yeah, so if this play right here is the run.
It's the run.
So we actually ran this exact same thing, because this is the beginning of the second quarter, our first possession to begin the second quarter. To end the first quarter, we actually ran this exact same play, the exact same look, the wing with the two tight ends in the back, and ran it just like this in the RPO. And on that one, you could see the safeties kind of bit on the handoff, the fake of the handoff. So then we come back to opening the drive right here with the exact same play again. And the safeties do the exact same thing that they did on the previous play, where they kind of come crashing down at the look of the handoff. And they
are in quarters is what they're in right now. Deep fourth, deep fourth, deep fourth, deep fourth. And Again, anytime you run deep routes on the outside, it turns into man-to-man. As soon as these two safeties come down to stop the run, you know you've got singled up top, singled up at the bottom, and if either one of them get any separation, it's play the music. And against cover four, you hit the post.
And the thing with this play too is we scored on this play a ton last year with Dante Thornton. We would kind of show the same look, same formation, same situation, and Thornton would just run past his guy, kind of run a post or kind of run a go, and we would just throw it up, and Thornton would run under it and score. So we've kind of come back to the similar play, just formation.
It was more skinny post that we were due last year because they didn't like the quarterback last year throwing the deep post. This is a deep post meant to be a shot play over the top, not meant to be thrown as the receiver's crossing the defender's face.
I just wanted to add this in here, and I put it up on Twitter just to kind of, I know a lot of people watching probably already understand it, but kind of show what OCs from the box are seeing and what they're watching and what they're looking at. Halsley and saw this up top in the box, saw what the safeties were doing on this, and circled, hey, let's run a go here and just throw it deep because the safeties are biting down, and we know Staley can run past his guy. Let's dial that up. They came right to it once they saw the safeties a bit twice, and that's how they dialed up a 70-yard touchdown pass.
It's rare that on first down you run the action with the actual handoff, and then on second down you run the exact repeat action, knowing you're about to pull it and go deep. It's a little funny.
That's some Spurrier stuff.
And the safeties didn't crash as hard this time. They read it a little bit better. This guy really should have been dropping deep.
Yep.
Well, he is now, but it's too late. He's beat.
Just those false steps forward gave it,
That's all
it took, really. And then we actually, and we're not going to have this on here, but I saw it when I was rewatching the game too. I think it might have been it's either the third or fourth quarter. We came back to the exact same look, the exact same situation, and then instead of Staley running kind of the go, he runs like the 10 to 15-yard comeback. And because the DB's playing so far off to prevent him from running the go, Staley just breaks it off and runs a comeback, and it's a 10 to 15-yard completion.
That's super interesting. On that very play right there, do you think Staley and Joey had choice on to where if they both dropped deep, he could set down at about 14, 18 yards and throw a hitch?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they both have choice on that, on what they're going to run, depending on the leverage of the DB. And then on this play, somebody pointed this out. I didn't even notice it. I mean, you could have threw it to Staley or Matthews because Matthews beat his guy, and he was wide open too. Yeah. I mean, both guys were open.
Yeah, I think actually Matthews might have been more. Okay, we're going to jump ahead up here to about 16 and some change. 1656. Bear with me. I wish I could use my arrow keys to do this. It'd be a lot easier. All right, so here we go. I was talking earlier about Joey when he's throwing the hitches, the bobbles, the curls in that first quarter. His left leg was failing him and striding out too far, which just takes your left shoulder to drop and makes instead of being here on platform throwing from your ear, you're throwing from up here, and the ball's going to take off. This is the exact same type of play. It's instead of Ethan Davis we're throwing to, it's going to Mike Matthews. Joey's base is perfect. Perfect. And then Mike makes a couple dudes look not so great. We need Mike Matthews having the football in his hands.
Yeah.
We need Mike Matthews having the football in his hands more and more and more, which means he's got to catch it and get open. So let's take a look here. Yeah, we're in slow motion. Takes a while. Now here you go. You're going to have Mike Matthews at the bottom of the screen. Look at Joey's base.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
On perfect balance. And again, 4. get open, catch the ball, because when you have it in your hands, you're a problem for the other team to tackle.
You get a better look here.
Yeah, you're gonna really see. He's so squared up.
Yep. He doesn't stride as much.
No, the left leg didn't get too far away from his base and make you dip. Some guys have so much arm talent, they can be off platform and still make the throw perfectly every time, like Mahomes and a couple other humans that have walked the face of the earth. Most guys have to have all their balance correct. All right, so we got two more offensive plays we're going to look at. One of them is going to be the touchdown to our third string running back, who may not be third string on a lot of teams and may not be third string on our team. So, yeah, 21-16, that's where I want to be. Okay, so we are running what everybody runs in the red zone on third down. We're running outside receiver slant, inside receiver slant, most inside receiver to the box, running a corner. Mike Matthews is going to come open to the corner, but it's pretty late because I can't tell what Syracuse, this one defender here in front of Staley's doing. He doesn't follow Staley as hard as he should be on a slant, which leaves him kind of making Aguilar think, do I really want to throw that ball to Matthews? If it's second down, I want him throwing the ball for sure and just saying I'm going to throw it to the corner, and Matthews, if he gets to it, great. I don't think because he saw this defender, his eyes went back to the left. I think he made probably the right decision, and then he made a hell of a play. Watch this guy who's head up on Staley. He kind of confuses Joey on, is Matthews' corner route right? I actually looked at Staley that time. I would like to have seen Staley slant harder, because if he does slant harder, that guy's falling in quicker. Staley kind of delays how quickly he breaks his route to the middle. Yep. Staley should already be inside the hashes, and Mike's by himself.
Yep, and we talked about this earlier. I mean, Mike is coming open right as Joey feels the pressure and his eyes get off of it. Yeah. You know, your point, the Syracuse DB makes him hesitate. And, yeah, Matthews is coming open. But, it's basically simultaneously as Joey's moving his eyes off of it and escaping the pocket because he feels the pressure on his backside. But,
yeah, we can't
for him to Matthews. Also, again, going back to the experience aspect of it, him being much football, for him to feel the pressure behind him and escape the pocket and be calm and cool and collected. Like, he doesn't even see the pressure. He doesn't see that. He feels it coming and slides up into the pocket.
Yeah. He's not looking at any rush. He is feeling rush and knowing where to be. Yeah, it was just at the moment, if we could tie it together, right when that defender follows Staley and Matthews comes truly open and he has the picture clear, that's when he had to, come back to the backside.
And
like I said, go ahead.
On this, he may – I saw this on the replay. You know, he may have had an option to throw this to Staley too, because Staley's got his hand up and he's got a step or two on the DB. So he had,
he's reading all three guys.
Really, and it's a touchdown, and I'm not going to complain about scoring. He probably made the toughest throw out of the options that he had was to start Thomas, and he made the throw, and it was a touchdown. If he stays in the pocket, which I don't blame him for escaping because he felt that pressure, it's probably an easier throw to Matthews. Right here, it's probably an easier throw to Staley. He made the toughest throw and completed it, and it's a touchdown.
Yeah, and it's not an easy catch either. Drew, I think I've already thrown this at Jordan, but I'm going to ask you and see if you know. That is a play that does not happen almost ever in a Josh Heupel offense. We don't score touchdowns off script. Josh schemes guys open, and when we score touchdowns, it's pass plays that the receiver was running a post, the receiver was running a bubble, he was running a wheel, whatever, and we throw it on time. Guys on a scramble drill, it just doesn't happen in Josh Heupel's offense. Do you know the last time under Josh Heupel before this one was when we scored a touchdown on a off-script pass.
You know, the funny thing is, I think of Nico because I think he off of not running through progressions, but off platform. That was actually a strength of his. I think we've all seen video where he will bounce early on reads though, and he definitely not reading like that. But that's the one thing I think he actually does well. It's because it's just him playing and not because you can tell he's not as prepared or he's not processing. But off script, man, I can't.
Do you remember, Jordan?
I don't know.
The first game of Josh Heupel's tenure in Knoxville. Bowling Green, late fourth quarter, Joe Milton broke the pocket and threw like a 50-yard touchdown pass to Tillman, the last score of that ball game. And Tillman had run a go, but at that point, Tillman was just kind of lingering around deep down the field. And Joe was in the pocket for about 8 seconds, finally broke out. The protection was ridiculous. And then he just heaved up a Hail Mary, basically, that Tillman caught diving over top of a defender. That's the only other off-script passing touchdown until this one under Josh Heupel. Now, there's been a bunch of runs where Hooker took off and scrambled in. Nico did it several times. Joe did it several times. But actually, off-script, scramble drill, mirror your quarterback, get open for him just on being an athlete. That's how long it's been because it just don't happen.
Yeah, I'd love to kind of turn this question to you guys.
Please.
I'm trying not to make too much of Syracuse's defense is not good. I think they're maybe well coached and they play hard, but just watching this and then especially the last 2 years, there's just a certain and you can't even we could probably describe it in multiple different things, but there's no real thing. Joey seems, and I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic, he seems to have it. There's not one specific thing that you could point to. You know, when the lights go on with Milton, it just didn't look like it does. Like you guys saw the practice video with the Cowboys. You're like, whoa, yeah, that's what they were seeing in practice. That's why they started him. But, like, there's just the poise, like that last play that you showed, the pocket presence while keeping your eyes up, but also going through his progressions. He just – and it's the same as the poise, but there's no panic. But the decision-making also, he showed it he showed it with the run, the 25-yard run early. And then that pass to Star Thomas for the touchdown, he knows when to scramble to make a pass, and he knows when to take off for a run. And you can tell watching some of the film, too, that he's still getting comfortable. And I heard Hazley's interview today that there's some things he can clean up when he has a pass run option. Those are some things I saw in the film, too, when I was watching you guys shared the all 22. I saw 2 times where we passed out wide. And it was something, the look that we had, the numbers were better inside, and Peyton Lewis had a crease. And it probably looking at a 15-plus yard run both times instead of like a 3 or 4 yard pass. And I like the potential for what it's scary to think, especially as this offensive staff is really tweaking the offense, what they can do with somebody that can like give them more options to play with.
Right. No, there's clearly we have a guy who allows us to do more than we've had the last 2 years. Jordan, I'm going to roll this. This is our last offensive play. This is the touchdown pass to Kitzelman. Not a whole lot to break down here.
We've run this a few times over the last few years, but to kind of Drew's point of what he was getting at is, you know, a lot of people watching this just thinks, you know, that this is just a simple play, right? But Aguilar's awareness and experience to backpedal, to buy the time for Kitzelman to get clear of the two linebackers. It's just, to Drew's point, it's just something you can't teach. It's just experience. It's feel of the game to understand backing up and allowing your tight end to have enough time to get the space. Drew and I have talked about this. I wasn't very high on the Aguilar pickup because I was stuck on the interceptions that he threw at App State. And kind of some of the stuff that I've heard. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I did a deep dive in any of his film or watched full games or anything like that. I was just kind of going off of word of mouth. But, I mean, personally, for me, I didn't have high expectations with him as our quarterback just based off of deceived notions. But, I mean, to Drew's point, to be honest, after watching just how he performed and his moxie and just how he handled things and just – the intangibles that you just can't teach, I feel way better about the potential ceiling of our offense moving forward. Then I do think we definitely have a higher floor offensively moving forward than I initially thought that we were going to have with Aguilar at quarterback based off of his intangibles alone. Because Drew's point, he's only going to get more comfortable and better and better and better at executing this offense. The more he's in it, the more he gets live reps, the more he gets film on it to understand it. He's only going to get better. And for this to be the starting point for him to perform like that, granted, Syracuse is not a great defensive team. They weren't great last year. But live bullets against a Power 4 opponent, your first start, amped up, I thought he performed really, really well. And I do think the intangible aspect, he showed more intangibles than what we had in the quarterback last year. The quarterback last year, clearly more athletic, clearly a better arm, right? But the intangible aspect, he didn't have what Joe Aguilar has at the quarterback position. And, and here's the thing with the last four quarterbacks that we've had, Hooker, Milton, Nico, Aguilar. I mean, Milton and Nico are probably the two most physically gifted quarterbacks that we've had under Heupel. But now look at probably, to me, is going to be your two most successful with him, which is going to be Hooker and Aguilar. They had those things that you couldn't teach the other two. And it makes me excited for the season going forward offensively.
Just the improvement in deep ball touch is enough to make miles of improvement.
Yep.
But there's so much more that are improved. Like you said, it's not as fast. Can't throw it through a brick wall, but I can throw it on time. I can throw it where it's supposed to be. And when I get a guy deep in space, I can give them a chance by either hitting him in stride or I can underthrow it a little bit. I just can't throw it 5 yards past where he's at because there's nothing I can do with that as a receiver. And this guy's better at the previous two options. I don't want to harp on any of that. We don't know if he's anywhere close to as good as Hendon was at those things. But game one, he looks like he's got a pretty good grasp.
I asked you this, Rusty. I think maybe Saturday afternoon I'm going to ask Drew because I haven't talked to him about this yet. But just to the couple of runs that we saw out of Aguilar, I feel like just Aguilar is just a more natural runner than what Nico was last year. Nico's more athletic, probably faster, maybe a little bit twitchier than Aguilar. But on those few runs when Aguilar got out of the pocket, he just looked more natural and more decisive running the football than what we got out of Nico at that aspect last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think two things that surprised me the most before this, well, one was in this game, but one was watching just practice highlights. One, I was actually a little shocked at how stocky and thick he is.
Yeah.
He's not a small guy, which is good for durability. Although there was a couple times I was like, get out of bounds or slide. The 25-yard run, I'm like, go out of bounds. There's times to do that. Save that for Georgia or Bama or something like the big play.
Championship game when there's 2 minutes left.
Right.
Do it outside.
But he's definitely a little more mobile than I thought he was. I think a lot of it is he knows when to run. He doesn't do it too often, and so Nico was running constantly and getting the 3 or 5 yard a game.
And he was decisive when he wanted to run. When he saw that it was there to take and it was the proper move, he said, "I'm going to go do it," and did it. Just the only thing is, just slide. That's it.
Please.
Hey, so let's take a look at these 4 defensive plays. First, we're going to look at this is an absolute nasty blitz concept. Actually, it's not a blitz. It's a four-man rush. We're not bringing a fifth defender. Aaron Carter is showing the right guard A-gap pressure and drops. And it catches the quarterback quite off guard. 3rd and 10. We're attacking downfield on defense on 3rd and 10. We're coming downhill like a ball of fire. We did for the first, I guess, 25 minutes of game action. We kind of backed off and just let Syracuse have some underneath 3, 4, 5 yards for a while. But right now we are in attack mode. It's 3rd and 10, and Tim Banks wins on this. Aaron Carter showing that right guard A-gap pressure and backs out, and then comes in the left guard A-gap. Just so slick. And again, it looks like you're bringing so many guys, and we're only bringing 4. Herring's dropping.
It's really good design, and it's really good thrown up. I mean, your left guard is, obviously he's got his eyes on Spillman right over his face, and then we slant our D tackle and wrap Carter around. The left guard's not even expecting Carter to come around because he's got Spillman right in his face. The right guard expects Carter to come into his face, and instead our nose tackle comes right into his face. It's just, and then Carter faking the drop and coming back in. They talked.
Carter looks
just
like Spillman.
Yeah,
right? Carter looks just like Spillman right now.
Yeah, they talked about it on the broadcast about this being like an NFL concept here of something that you see a lot in the NFL, where you kind of bluff the blitz, back out, but then you actually come through another gap.
Yep. I think Herring has running back is what it is. He's got flat responsibility with the running back. And then the running back stays in to protect, so he just drops off. Yeah. No, that's look at this. We ended up having 3 guys block Joshua Joseph.
Right, look on the other side. 3 or 3 on the other side.
I didn't even look at Bailey's side. Yeah.
6
that's
blocking
so good.
2.
Yeah. I mean, that was a less than 2 seconds he had until Carter was grabbing him at the waist.
Yep.
And you brought 4 guys. Great concept. Let's see here. We're going to jump to 6:20. No. Yeah, this must be the next play. It is. This is going to be a play everybody likes. Don't have a lot to say about this one. We just want to show this one because it's pretty. This is just a big old guy over top of the center winning his battle and getting to the quarterback.
Just the Robinson
Didn't trick.
fumble.
Yeah. Didn't trick him.
Just wanted to show this one just to show, Nathan Robinson's potential and his talent of what he can do this season. I mean, he quick twitch and he's powerful. I mean, he pushes it right into the quarterback's lap in a one-on-one battle and then just knocks the ball out. If he can stay healthy, he's definitely going to add something to the defensive tackle rotation. I'll be honest, again, it's just Syracuse. It's a long season to go, but Nathan Robinson flashed in this game, and that's something that I didn't expect either. I thought he might be a steady guy, just kind of a reliable guy you can give, but he flashed more than just being a reliable guy. He flashed that he could potentially be a difference maker on the interior because, he didn't just make this play. He made multiple plays in the game when he was healthy.
He was noticeable all day.
Yeah.
Can he play the strong side DN position and give Bailey? Can he give us minutes there, or is he strictly a nose guard?
Yeah. To me, I think he's going to be a nose guard. Could he slide out possibly, but just based off of the numbers of the situation, I think he's stuck inside.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think he is too, especially when with Hobbs out, Moy maybe for Georgia. I don't know. I think if you look at the all 22, I think they slid besides just rabbit package, they slid Bailey inside a little bit in
Yeah,
general.
they did. Yeah.
Which is I don't know why West only had 14 snaps. But you could play West and Weathersby and 50-50 split them rotation and slide Bailey inside until you get Moa back. If need be. So they're deep outside, but not so much inside with the 2 injuries they have. And
they need West to lock in mentally this week, play well against ETSU, and be trustworthy for them to, because he needs to play a bunch of snaps so Bailey can play more on the inside. You're right.
Yeah, I'd be a little torn about Robinson this week too. After I'd almost put him in bubble wrap this weekend.
I would.
Because
I
mean,
if I didn't have to.
He did that with one hand too. Like he's got a club for a hand. He can't even use the one hand.
Hey, you can punch a heck of a ball with that club.
Absolutely.
This weekend, I'm letting
his cast as a weapon back in the day in a good fight with the Padres.
This weekend, I'm letting Jamal Wallace and Campbell and Utley get all the snaps they want. I'm force feeding them everything they can handle against ETSU because you're going to need that depth as the season goes on,
and maybe even a little more full time for Bailey in the first 2 quarters, just to get used to playing inside a little bit more. So
because if we can, to your point, Drew, I mean, if we can get healthy, and I told this to Rusty earlier, I mean, you get Hobbs healthy, let's get Nathan Robinson healthy, you get Moy healthy, even if. Some of those guys maybe don't play against Georgia, right? But you need to get UAB that they can kind of rest and kind of get healthy, and you kind of get your full arsenal against a Mississippi State. I mean, if they slide Don Bailey inside more full time, you got 5 guys at that point that you feel comfortable with, and Moy, Eason, Hobbs, Robinson, and Bailey that are experienced, have played a lot, and then you can bring along the Jamal Wallace, the Utley, and the Campbells instead of having to, throw them in there in the fire right away. So hopefully we can get those guys healthy because we're definitely going to need them on the interior. One thing that I noticed, I'll get your guys' opinion too. One thing I noticed in this game is we just inside at tackle, we just don't have the size that we've had the last couple of years when we had Foreman Lott and Elijah Simmons. And Amari Thomas. So I wonder, size-wise and physicality-wise, how can we hold up as the season progresses? Because we're just not as big on the interior as we have been.
When Hobbs and Moy are there, we're where we want to be. We need those guys back ASAP. So I'm highlighting this because this is 4th and 10. This is one of the ones you want me to. This was kind of matter to you because it's 17-0. We got them in 4th and 10. They're just probably a little bit out of probably 10, 15 yards outside the red zone. And we kind of dialed it back and played a really soft zone here. And I think, if I'm remembering correctly, this is the one where Farouk is on fire. This is the one where Farouk goes and plays like he's in cover 2 when it was cover 3. Everybody else shows cover 3, and he didn't exactly play it right. I think this is that play.
I think this is also the one that we talked about, and I'll get Drew's opinion on this too. I think Edwin Spielman needs to get better depth to make this a tougher throw for the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Spielman here, and I think it's Farouk. Yeah, see, okay, there it is. For whatever reason, the play side safety got way too deep, and Spillman didn't get depth. I mean, that's a long way to go to ask your linebacker to drop. I mean, that is way downfield. It's more, I think that's Farouk that drops just way deeper than he needed to. I mean, like you said, Spillman could have been running with and been down here on the 15-yard line and deflected the ball. But his responsibility probably isn't much more than being at the 20. Well, if he's at the 20, he might deflect it, but I think the safety got a little too deep. And I can't tell if that's Farouk or Turrentine. Maybe I can tell on the tight shot.
Turrentine.
It's Turrentine. Whoa. Sorry, boys. Why can't I get the playback speed changed?
Yeah, Turrentine. There was some kind of mix up there because it looked like both those safeties are trying to go to the same spot and cover the same spot. They needed to be further apart than what that was.
Yeah, and there's nothing threatening Turrentine deep. Like he's got nobody. There's nothing going behind him for him to be dropping that far.
The scary part about that play is the guy over the middle is even more open. Like he made the tougher throw, and the guy over the middle is, because it was 4th and 10. The guy over the middle is right on the marker, barring a terrible throw. He's going to get that first down. Like that's probably it might even be a touchdown if he throws it to the guy over the middle. And there was no one there.
No.
There had to be some kind of miscommunication or missignal or something there. There's just.
Yeah, there was. Somebody was in cover 2 when they were supposed to be in cover 3. It's got to be. Okay, I have this one jotted down. This is our last play of the night, fellas. I don't even know what. Oh, this is 4th and 2. This is another 4th down on a touchdown drive. I mean, we did everything right except Boo left his feet too early. You gotta go wrap the quarterback up, then let your feet come off the ground. He lunged and let his feet off the ground way too early. I mean, he gets to him. He's got him dead to rights. If he just keeps his feet under him and is driving his shoulders through his waist like he's taught, like why he's reaching out like that instead of just running through, there's no reason for it.
Yep.
You're not chasing a guy who's going to wiggle away from you unless you just leave your feet.
And the main reason why, when you and I were talking, that number one, I wanted to put the last 4th down on here was just to show kind of the miscommunication or missignal or something that happened that put two safeties basically guarding the same space, which kind of allowed the 4th and 10 to happen. And Syracuse ends up scoring on that drive. That's the first points of the game. And then on this drive, Boo misses this sack here to end this drive, and they end up scoring on this drive also. I mean, that's the difference in, that's 14 points for Syracuse. That's 2 drives that were extended that they shouldn't have had points on two simple things right there. So I was very, very harsh and kind of very critical on the defense after the game because I kind of expected, it to kind of look better and Syracuse not score 26 points. But those are just 2 things there that, instead of scoring 26, right, they're scoring 12. So it's small, simple things like that. Looking back, kind of some of the stuff that you've said, Rusty, about how we played it different in the second half defensively, kind of has, and of course we dealt with a lot of injuries on that side of the ball throughout the game. You lost Ricky Gibson. Lost Nathan Robinson. Eason went out at some point. Carter missed maybe 2.5 quarters for cramps. So and then at one point, Drew and I talked about this, and Rusty and I talked about this. You look up at one point, you got Marion Dodge, Jamal Wallace, Herring, Ben Bolton, Brandon Ains, Tyler Redmond, all out there in a critical situation, 14-point game in the second half. So we were playing a lot of bodies and a lot of inexperienced bodies defensively, which hurts you in the moment, but it's, a long game aspect of getting as many guys reps and experience as you can to build that depth. So as frustrated as I was during the game that the defense kind of slacked off later on, I kind of understand why it ended up playing out the way it played out.
Yeah. My thoughts on that, Boo read it beautifully.
Yeah,
he didn't bite and tackle the running back, which is what you're trying to get the free rusher to do. He read it and just misplayed that. But that's a very teachable moment. You have to break down like you've always been taught and just get the guy wrapped. and then you have help, and they'll be giving us the football 1st and 10. And then on the other play, got to be alert in the communications and make sure everybody that's on the field knows exactly the right coverage, because there's no way we had 2 safeties 4 yards apart from each other. They could have held hands in between the hashes in the deep half or in the deep middle. That's not any defense that anybody run. That was some kind of blown coverage. Anyway, final thoughts, guys.
I'm with. I couldn't have said it better than Jordan on this. I thought it was a silver lining allowing those 4th down conversions and giving up the points, because I think this defense will correct a lot of these mistakes.
Teaching moments.
Yeah, the Boo Carter one is simple. I mean, anyone can see, and he's super athletic for the most part. He's going to make that play. I think 9 times out of 10 he makes that play. The 4th and 10, like you said, that's alignment and assignment, and that seems to be something we've been really good about not blowing coverages, to the point where people are fans get a little upset about the lack of aggression. They're like, it's okay if you get beat every now and then. But that's just not what we do. We don't blow coverages and don't give up. So that was kind of something newer that I think a new safety tandem together. They're gonna kind of pull that together. I think that I am a little, again, it's Syracuse. I'm cautiously I think the mistakes are fixable for the most part. I don't know how often we're going to look over there and see the linebacker pairings that we saw. Carter's got cramps, Spillman's banged up, T-Lander's not even on the field. I think you're going to be hard pressed to see that in a game where one of the 3 of them is not on the field. Probably 2 of the 3 of them not on the field in any key situation.
Who's the safety number 10?
Beasley.
That is.
Yeah.
He can move, man.
Yeah.
And this, they kind of moved him to safety. I want to say fall camp, maybe more full term in fall camp. He kind of dabbled in it in the spring. So to that play, to Drew's point, I mean, that could have just been first time experience. I mean, the guy that we talked about sparing time. I don't see him mixing something up in that situation, but it could have been Beasley kind of read something wrong or miscommunication or something that caused that to happen.
Could have been. Yeah. Well, fellas, ETSU, we're what? Are we 72 hours away? Or no, my math's wrong. Somewhere between 48 and 72, right? Yep. We'll be playing the Buccaneers. Go Bucks, except Saturday. Hope y'all win the rest of your games all year long. And should have a fun film breakdown. Should be able to do a lot of film breakdown next week on that ball game, because we're gonna have a lot of young guys that we can go look at how they played, and not just look at the film and the schematics, just how do these guys play football. Should be fun next week. But thanks everybody that joined in. Drew, thank you so much for being with us. Want to have you here as much as you're available. J-Mo, you're the best as always. I love you, brother. You're your family, and I can't wait to see you in person sooner than later.
Yep. Thanks, Drew, for joining in tonight, man. It was fun. Like Rusty said, come on anytime you want to. We enjoy it and have fun. So you're welcome anytime you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Pleasure was ours, man. GBO. We'll leave it at that. See y'all next week.
See you guys.
Good night.